I am Air Marshal Kuruvilla. I have been collecting from my age of 13 up to even today. I have been a collector. Because of my professional experience after my engineering, I was about 52 years. I was working 35 years with the Air Force, and the next 37 years with the Air Force and 15 years with the private sector companies. So it's only in the recent past I have taken out my collections and started doing the exhibit. This is my first state level exhibition where I am put in Indian airmails, evolution, development and operations from 1911 to 1940. Now, coming to the story of Indian airmails, in fact it coincides with the world airmails. The first Indian airmail is also the world's first airmail. As you probably know, the powered flight, the aircraft powered flight happened in 1903. In 1911, there was an exhibition in UP where one of the reverends of a boys' hostel, a British reverend who was conducting a boys' hostel, he wanted to renovate his old boys' hostel, and he got a novel idea of exporting 5 aircraft from England to India by ship, assemble it here, and then with the blessings of the Post and Telegraph Department, flew it from Allahabad, the UP exhibition ground, to a railway station called Naini, which is in the Calcutta-Bombay route. So each cover which was flown on that, about 6,500 covers are flown, and each of these covers, he collected 6 annas from from each of the persons who wanted to send it by post. Now, this is the first cover, which is, you can see the UP exhibition postmark, the specially designed emblem, and the date in which it was flown, 18th February 1911 from Allahabad. Now this is also an original cutout, a portion of this which is shown here. This is an original cutout of this. Now about 6,500 flights covers were taken, and this is one of them. I have in my collection a few more, but I have put only one here. This is the first flight cover which has come from South Africa to India. Now, this is in 1918. This was in South Africa, the Red Cross organized with the RAF, the Royal Air Force in South Africa. They organized the first flight in South Africa. That was from Pretoria to Johannesburg. Now, this cover was flown that section, and then by ship came to Dehradun in India, to Bombay, and then from land to Dehradun. The time taken was about 78 days. Now, this is the 1920 covers. During that period, the Department of Post have given a contract to the Royal Air Force. The Royal Air Force was the official carrier of airmails in India at that time. There was no civil aircraft available in India. So this is the covers which are flown by the Royal Air Force in 1922, 23rd January 1920 it started, and this is the first cover which has come from Karachi to Delhi Air Service, Bombay. The stamp is at the reverse side. This is another cover, a registered cover, very extraordinary to have Queen Victoria's 1/4 overprint cover being there. This is the special cancellation which is given for these flights. There were total 14 flights only, 3 months duration, and these are the covers. Again, I have exhibited for the exhibition stage. Coming to this is again a Royal Air Force demonstration which has happened in Raisalpur. This is Raisalpur is the northeastern headquarters of Royal Air Force. From there, they wanted to demonstrate their capabilities that they could fly over the thing. So they conducted a demonstration flight, flying from different stations of Air Force to Raisalpur. This is one of those covers which is flown. And it is signed by the pilot also. You can see the pilot signature here. Now, the British government's intention was to develop the air route, and in fact, my complete exhibition is focused on that, the route development from England to Australia. Now, for that, in 1924, they have tasked Alan Cobham, who was with the survey department, to conduct a survey from England down to India and then to Australia. So this is the cover which was flown. I have taken the Indian section, Calcutta to Karachi and then Calcutta to London. So you see the red label which is internal between India, Calcutta to Karachi, and the green label is put for Calcutta to outside India to London, and this is flown in that cover 1924-25. Then there was a demonstration in Delhi again to make the people aware of the importance of airmail, and this is a Delhi called London-Delhi Moth flight which was flown on 15th November. These are very few covers are only flown, you should remember that, and this is from that one which is flown from I think from Karachi to Rawalpindi. Now we come to again India's first air actually speaking air display, that was in 1927, and this is the Royal Air Force has done the royal display, and you see the special marks which I have produced here. It has been flown to different places. I have only taken 1 or 2 covers, Raisalpur, Kohat. The study will also tell you the route through which it has flown, the significance of why this is done, and which are the places where this display has been carried out. Now coming down the thing is all the route developments which has taken place from UK through India to where it is going, I mean up to Australia, but I have confined to what is related to the India and going into Australia. Coming into this is the Cairo-Baghdad service extension to Basra. RAF has already flown, this is not in India, RAF has already flown what is called the desert service in 1921. So in 1921 onwards, RAF's desert service was there between Cairo and Baghdad. Now this desert service was extended to Basra, and from there it is taken over by the Imperial Airways, which was formed, Imperial Airways was formed in 1924, and from there the flight was taken over from the Royal Air Force by the British Imperial Airways and extended to Basra. This was the first step to come to India, and that is why it's very significant, and it is in 1927 it has happened. The covers are depicting that. This is also the same type of an extension. Here the speciality of this particular cover is that it has got 2 errors. The errors are marked here, shown here, RS for PS, the listed error, and slanting 1/4. It's written here, and you can see the difference if you look into that with your magnifying glasses, the difference. And these are the error. This was one of the very rare error cover being flown at that time. Coming down, you have the flights which has been flown between Calcutta and Delhi by a Moth flight, Calcutta to Dhaka, I'm sorry, by a Moth flight, and the pilot has flown it to Shillong. So this is the first time in the northeast, and the people have seen an aircraft for the first time when this flight came in 1927. You should know that the powered flight started only in 1903, and hence within 24 years the people could see the first aircraft taking the covers and given it there in Shillong. Here is a very interesting cover. This is from Paris to Saigon by Captain Leo Charlie. He has undertaken a flight from Paris to Saigon and then returned to Paris. It's a private endeavour, and this is the cover which is flown by the Captain Lyon Charlie in that one, and you can see a special bottle. This is a Latpai cover. It's called Latpai cover, and this is the very special cover. Here is a Embraer seaplane flight from Plymouth, Australia. So this is one of the first covers which has come from Australia to Akiab in Burma. So this is again the route development. Each of these pioneers who have flown this aircraft, they have put their route maps, which helped finally the Imperial Airways to extend the service to Australia. Now we come to the Dutch airmail. See, when the British were doing this, the Netherlands and France, they have also have their own, colonies in the East India. So they wanted to have their own services, and in fact, the Dutch and the French were ahead of the British during the period of 1927-28. Here you can see the Dutch flights which have been going into Amsterdam to Batavia. Batavia is in today's Indonesia. So these are the flights which have been taken. The first flight from Calcutta to Rangoon, and the plane crashed at Kanpur. A cover intended for the this one is the cover which was in the third flight of the Dutch, where the plane crashed and the plane didn't come in Kanpur. It crashed, so it didn't come to Calcutta. This cover was kept ready for the aircraft, couldn't take place. The adaptation is very much shown here, and then flown by the fourth flight. This cover was flown by the fourth flight, which is shown here. So this is Amsterdam to Batavia is one of the landmarks where it has gone up to Indonesia. Now comes the Imperial Airways extending their service from Baghdad. You have seen here Baghdad to Basra, now Basra to Karachi. This has come, and here is a special cover which has come from Iraq direct to Karachi, Baghdad. Here is the first airmail which has come from England. Now they have extended the flight to Karachi. In 1929, this cover the first Imperial Airways first airmail between England and India. So these are the covers which were flown in that flight. It is different places. Cairo, I have shown from Karachi to, this has come from again, I think Iraq to Karachi. Then again you come into the return flight service, India-UK return service, which has happened. The dates, the rate, the postage rate, all are analyzed here and kept it there in the side, but time doesn't permit me to extend all that. This is again flight UK to Karachi return. I am showing this thing because this is the first time the Imperial Airways have been able to send flights up to India. Then this is a first time a mail from India has gone to Australia in Adelaide. It was flown between Perth to Adelaide because, as you know, from India to down there was no flight, so it went up to Perth by ship, and then from Perth it was flown to Adelaide. And this is the first ever flight which has been flown to Australia. I mean, at least a cover which was flown through this. Here you will see a special mark, halfway home, halfway flyers home. India being in the center of Australia was named this as the halfway home, and that's a very significant point because India laid in the middle point of this route development, and hence all the flights have flown through India. Here is the first flight to Darjeeling, from Calcutta to Darjeeling via Siliguri. It was supposed to have gone to Siliguri but couldn't go. The flight was terminated at Darjeeling. This is a cover of a paper which is put it into the paper is into this, and it is genuinely flown. This one is certified by the famous aviator and writer Stephen H. Smith. This is again the first cover from Persia to India. This has happened in 1930. Again, the first ever cover which is flown. That's again one of those things. In between, there was a problem for these services to not to take place in the Imperial Airways. So immediately, emergency airmail. This was because of an earthquake. Emergency airmail was flown by the uh, what do you call that, airmail service by the Bengal Flying Club, I think it was from. No, by RAF itself. RAF had to call back and operate this due to the floods. Emergency airmail. They flown by the emergency airmail for a very short duration. Very interesting covers are these. Karachi to Delhi and returned by. This is the first Indian, what should I say, Indian commercial service cover. This is a company called Indian State Air Service was formed, ISAS. It was formed, and this is the first cover which has been flown from Karachi to Delhi. The flight was from Karachi to Delhi, the first Indian internal commercial service actually. This is a world solo flight by Mrs. Victor Bruce. Victor Bruce has flown a world solo flight all across and the world, and this is a cover flown by her. This is the demonstration flights which have happened prior to the taking place of the extension. This is from demonstration flights, which this is to route survey and things like that from India to state settlements. So you can see this was flown by the British flight RAF. RAF is shown here. This is a gentleman called Murad. Murad has flown this aircraft. He had idea to go up to Persia, but he crashed. This is a cover which was flown before the crash. These two covers were flown between Karachi. After Karachi, as he was flying, he hit a mountain and fell down, and the aircraft crashed. But this is before the crash. These two covers are flown by. Now coming to this again extension, this is I have to read that. Paris to Saigon. This is by again a French gentleman, a lady, Mary's Mary Hills. Mary Hills has flown this from Paris to Saigon, and the post. They were allowed by the post office to carry the letters with them, and post offices used to mark them. They used to take it, then post it at the time of arrival, whichever place they were going, and then come to the addressee by normal route, land route or whatever it is. This is again an American World Flyer, their first flight. Two pilots were there, Ross Hadley and John E. Pratt. It's called a Pratt cover. They have flown this. They were going world flight again, and John E. Pratt has signed this cover. This has gone through to Calcutta from Karachi to Calcutta. Here is another flight to England to Australia by Fairbairn and Shenstone. Now, many pioneer flyers used to make their own take their own aircraft and try to go through this route. And each of these flight, as I told you, have helped the Imperial Airways finally to extend the route to Australia. Here, the aircraft was detained detailed in Calcutta for overhauling. It was in Karachi. It was in Karachi for overhauling. It was detailed for 6 days, and hence it is returned detailed till 5th April. Engine overhauled and then flown to Calcutta, signed by the pilot. Here is the first ever philatelic exhibition. The Bengal governor, Lord Ersa, David, residence of Sir David, Lord David, his next name I am not getting.
Sir David and Lady Ersa.
Sir David and Lady Ersa, in their residence they conducted an exhibition in 1930. This was the first ever philatelic exhibition conducted in India. So all these philatelic exhibitions, this is the birthplace of the thing. There were 39 exhibitors throughout the world which has been flown. This is a cover which was sent to Charles Griffith in Calcutta explaining that this cover is in honor of the Philately exhibition. Then comes the England-Australia experimental flights. The government, the Post and Telegraph sanctioned 2 flights. First experimental flight in 1931 and the second experimental flight again in 1931 for route mapping and finding out the feasibility of going all the way up to Australia. Here is the first cover which has gone from England, Australia official airmail, first flight, first airmail Burma to England. This has gone on its return flight. It has taken from Burma to here. You can see the Indian, Burma being a part of India, the Indian airmail stamps of 1929 here. 12 annas and 3 annas stamps are put here. The rate analysis also is done through this, but I cannot take it. It's a separate subject altogether. This is a route development which I am showing. So rate development though is written here, very important part of the route development, but I cannot explain the whole thing now. Here comes New Delhi to Victoria Point. The Victoria Point is in Malaysia, after Malaysia. So this was again, you have seen up to Calcutta. Now you start seeing the things beyond Calcutta to Malaysia, to Australia, to Burma, and this is from Commonwealth. This is from Melbourne to Calcutta. The return, the Australian, this was done by 3 companies. The British Empire, they have the help of Qantas and also the help of ANC, that is the Australian National Company, that is by Charles K. Smith. And this power, the Australia has issued covers in honor of Charles Kingford Smith, who was also a pilot. Now here, this is called the Smithy stamps of Australia. Here he has put all the three stamps plus this is duplicated, 1, 2, 3. These are the full set, and it is double the rate of what was required to send it from Melbourne to Calcutta. But the gentleman wanted to have all the 3 Smithy stamps, 1, 2, and 3. And this is one of the very rare covers which has got the Smithy stamps flown by Kingsford Smith, and during his lifetime he was honored in Australia. Then again, Karachi to Delhi, domestic. Here we come to the what should I say, the milestone or the birth of Air India. These covers are the birth of Air India. Here you have got a cover which has come from England to Madras. It was carried by the Air India started with Tata Sons. It started with 2 aircraft, 3 pilots. Yeah, the Tata Sons was started in 1932. The government has for the first time allowed a company, excluding the small distance company which was called the Indian National Airways, that I have shown you, Karachi to Delhi. But this is the first, what should I say, Trans-India cover, which is from Karachi to Bombay to Madras. That was the route. So here you will see anybody could post to all these places from anywhere in India, and it used to be flown by the first flight. Here you can see the first flight emblem, and this is gone to Karachi from Madras. Karachi to Madras, from Karachi to Madras. The first flight where it was flown by J.R.D. Tata himself. The whole, he flown from Karachi to Bombay. From Bombay to Madras, it was flown by a person called Neville Shute, and then flown back to Madras to Bombay by the same gentleman, Neville Shute, and then from there to back to Karachi by J.R.D. Tata. So this cover was flown. Here you should know this difference. Here is also the same domestic air service, and this is the very important, and it is said, I cannot vouch, but it is said this is the only one cover which is available between Bombay to South Africa, Petersburg. This is the world's only one surviving cover. That is what is being told, but I cannot vouch. There may be something else which we have not recorded so far. anything. So this is only recorded one, I will say. Here you see the Union Jack, the same flight. These are both the same flight. There are two designs. It started with the Union Jack. The covers were sold well in advance with the Union Jack. These two covers you can see Union Jack. But there was a big public uproar. Those were the times of the national freedom movement. There was a big public uproar that the Tata aircraft should not carry the Union Jack. And hence the design was changed. Here you see that Union Jack is removed. There is no Union Jack. So this is a flight which is these covers flown in the same flight, one with the Union Jack and the other one without the Union Jack. Now you come to so many, I mean, this is an air race, the first air race by Prince Ali Khan. 10,000 pounds were given for anybody who could fly this air race. So this is one of those covers flown in that air race. Yeah, okay. This is again extension. This is from Calcutta. You will see Karachi, Calcutta, and return. Calcutta, so you will see the first flight by Imperial Airways to London to Calcutta. Again, Calcutta to London, and this. Here you see again an overstamped cover. It has got, you know that the 1929 Airmail has got 6 stamps issued. That was the first Airmail stamps in the world. That was again issued by India. Here there are 4 stamps. One stamp is at the back side, so 5 stamps he has put in. He couldn't get the 3 anna stamp at the back. 8 anna is missing. 8 anna is only missing. Probably he couldn't get the 8 anna stamp. Otherwise, he wanted to have all the 6 stamps in one cover. So 4 he has put in here. 1 he has put at the back. So this is one special cover because 6 stamps with the first flight. Very few covers are flown with the 6 stamps. Some collectors have got it. I don't have it. I have only this with the 5 stamps. Calcutta to London. Now you come to Indian National Airways, Calcutta to Dhaka. They flew, Indian National Airways flew to Calcutta to Dhaka the first time to the East Bengal. This is the first time the aircraft was flown to Dhaka. You see 2 covers which are on the Dhaka. Then this is another very interesting cover. They were taking, the extension was going on to Burma, Malaysia, Burma. The pilot was to land in Sandoe, which was just after Akyam. He forgot to land. He overflew Sandoe. And there was no ATC and all those days. So he just overflew Sandoe, went to Akyam. Here it's from Akyam to back to Calcutta. Now he went to Akyam. He found that he has a bag with Sandoe covers. He flew back from Akyam to Sandoe and then delivered the covers. So this is a very interesting cover. Now comes the London to Rangoon extension via Calcutta. Rangoon to Cape Town, this has gone from, on the return flight, it has gone from Rangoon to Cape Town via Calcutta and Cairo to South Africa. Now, Cairo was the staging place. The Imperial Airways will take flights from Karachi to Cairo, and there is a flight which is called the African Service, which came from England to Cairo and then gone to South Africa, both the ways. So this cover has taken that first from Rangoon to Karachi by the first flight, and then from Karachi to Cairo, and from Cairo by Imperial Airways from Cairo to South Africa. So that is the story of this. Here is another one, Rangoon to Karachi to London and then to France and then flown to USA. This is again Karachi to Rangoon in the Transcontinental Airways ITC flying. Here comes Rangoon to Singapore now. Again extension to Singapore. That is here this is a crash cover. The Emerald crash. It crashed. One of the very few covers to have been recovered. It's written here. Crash cover emblem is here. Certified by here. Certification. one of the very few covers to have survived the crash, mail addressed to Paris from Saigon. So this is a cover which was flown in the Saigon, Karachi, Baghdad, Marseilles, Lyon, Paris route. Crashed at Cobret, France, killing all the 14 on board. But still, very few covers survived that crash, one of them. Then there is what is called the Madras Calcutta Air Taxi Service. This is that Madras Calcutta Air Taxi Service which was operated. First flight by Madras Air Taxi, first flight Madras to Calcutta. This is from Calcutta to Madras. Now comes the direct flights, Karachi to Hyderabad by Tata Sons. There was a route change. First flight Karachi. This Hyderabad is not the southern Hyderabad. This is presently in Pakistan. So this is the one which is called Hyderabad. So it went from Karachi to Hyderabad because and then sorry. This is the Hyderabad of southern aircraft, southern peninsula, where the Nizam of Hyderabad changed from Bellary. The route was actually Karachi, Bombay, Bellary and Madras. Now the Nizam has paid 20,000 rupees per annum to Tata Sons so that the aircraft will land in Hyderabad. So this is the first flight from Karachi to Hyderabad. You see the first flight Bombay to Hyderabad. So Karachi, Bombay, Hyderabad instead of Bellary, and then to Madras. This is the first flight, first direct flight from Bombay to Calcutta. Earlier you see Bombay, Madras, Madras flight here, and it was only to Madras. Now it has gone up to Calcutta. So Karachi to Calcutta, the route is established. Then comes Calcutta to Bombay, there is a return flight. Hyderabad, Karachi is a return flight. Here is a Indo-Ceylon special Christmas flight. Now this is two flights were taken from England to Ceylon all the way, mainly to India. Most of the flights were to India. Load was so much so that two flights had to route all the way from the UK down to Karachi, and then from Karachi also they had to take two flights to go down to Ceylon, and these are the 6 covers which are gone to Ceylon and back. It's a collection of 6 covers which I have put in here, taking to Madras and Tiruchirappalli and Ceylon directly and things like that. Here is a very interesting. So I should go from the top. So Karachi, Calcutta, again the extensions, the things are shown here. Calcutta and London. The number of covers flown at that time is very, very less. So you will see these things. I have explained this cover already. Now Calcutta to Dhaka, Calcutta, this I have explained. England to Australia extension now by Qantas Airways. Now I told you the experimental flight itself was through Qantas and ANC, Australian National Company. Now here is the England to extension by the Qantas Airways. Now you see the endorsement, London to Brisbane. The thing has started now. Commercial aircraft flying from England to Australia has started now. This is the first flight which has taken place in 1934. And here is a return flight with the Australian stamp going back to the England. Now service between Lahore and Karachi. Lahore was again connected for the first time. Here there is a very interesting thing. This is in 1934. We have come only up to 1934. This is again a UK to Lahore direct flight, and here is that interesting cover which I was talking about. This is the H.H. Maharaja Holkar. He has put Gwalior state conventional stamps were allowed to be flown by a special decree for the flights from from Gwalior to England. So he has put is a service stamp. He has put his the Gwalior service stamps because he, being the Maharaja, he thought that he can use these stamps. Here is an annotation by the postmaster. It says service stamps are not allowed by airways, and it was returned back to the Maharaja. It never flew. So it's a proof that the airmail stamps were not allowed to be flown. Here is again a crash cover. This is from airmail salvage from the city of Kortov, a aircraft which has crashed and then again salvaged. I have intermingled cash as per the date of occurrence. Here is the first official airmail from Bombay to Trivandrum. The other one which has gone to Ceylon and never touched Trivandrum. So this is the first flight from Bombay to Trivandrum, the first flight to land in Trivandrum, and this is the one cover which is flown from there, and this is a return cover from Trivandrum to Bombay, the first ever flights to Travancore. Australia now comes Ahmedabad to Bhuj. You know, the Bhuj, the Deccan place, it was not covered and it used to be totally desert, and it used to be a big problem for transportation. So they have made it to Bhuj and then to Kutch. Now Kutch flights, there was no notice at all. So the covers which were flown are so little. You don't find this Kutch covers many. You will find it very, very few. So this is one. And these are two crash covers. There was an air race in which this French pilots, that was from Paris to Saigon, I think. Paris to Saigon air race, in which 3 aircraft from France took place. But this aircraft, he was leading, but he had a crash in Karachi, just short of Karachi, and it was detained for repair and thing. I mean, he couldn't be repaired. So the crashed cover was survived, the aircraft was damaged, and the sortie was abandoned there. Here is another air crash cover, survived cover, flown to, after the accident, retrieved and flown to Paris from India. Now comes some interesting thing. To reduce the time, the British Imperial Airways started using what is called the flying boats, Fuji. In 1931, they used experimental service also, they used the flying boats. Fuji is the name of one of the flying boats which they have used, but it has become so common now, like some Xerox, people say Xerox paper rather than photostat paper. So like that, it is always now being told as Fuji flights, but this is all flown by Fuji. And here again you can see the Gwalior state stamps being flown by them. Only state which is allowed by the British government to fly, and the Gwalior to Allahabad by the Fuji flight. Here again Gwalior to London, but this time they have used the British stamps because it is going to London. They have used here. I think it is again Gwalior stamps. Gwalior state Gwalior to Calcutta with the Gwalior thing. Gwalior to Athens, again British stamps were used. Karachi to Kanpur by special flight from Gwalior. Now Kanpur was not connected in the route of the flying boat. Obviously it was not on the route to the Australia. So there was a special flight which connected Gwalior to Kanpur, and the aircraft which has taken the flight from Karachi to Gwalior, and then there was a special flight cover flown. Total number of covers flown is only 5. Here also you will see the total number of covers flown are only 31, this one. Here you will see only this is only 2 covers which is flown, Gwalior Allahabad. Only 2 covers, so this is one of them. Then comes Airmail scheme, which is basically with the flying boats, they have reduced the rate, and the reduction in the rate is shown by here. For earlier the rate was different, 6 pence, that has been reduced to 1.5 pence. You can see annotations. This is why the reduced rate. It is going by the first flight with the reduced rates. This is an accelerated service. That is, night flying was introduced between Karachi and first. So the time was reduced, and this is flown by 2.5 days from England to Karachi. Here comes again to Australia by flat rate. So reduction in rate you can see here. That's all called Empire Airmail scheme. So here again another Empire scheme. First reduction of postage rate 1.5 to 11 pence to 5D for different places, different things, and the King Edward stamp you can see. First flight from New Zealand to India under flat rate. Here it is from Australia to India. This is from India to Australia, and this is from India to New Guinea. New Guinea is nothing but PNG. That is from Pune. Is it from Pune? I forget. Anyway, it is to New Guinea. That is today called Papua New Guinea, but earlier name New Guinea. So this has gone to New Guinea. And now these two are my last two exhibits which I have taken, which is from Indian Airlines, Pan Am. This is through, this is the first ever flight flown by Pan Am. This was taken from India. Pan Am has not come to India at that time, but it was taken to where is it gone? Karachi, and then from Karachi to England, and from England it was flown accepted by Pan Am. So this was the first flying thing which has gone to USA through aircraft. Otherwise everything was going from Karachi via ship to UK, or either from Calcutta to USA or from Karachi to USA, crossing the river. So this is the first time from England it has gone to England America BOAC flight. Now comes Air Services of India. That's another company which was started as called Air Services of India. Their first flights covers are shown here. 3 covers only I have put in there. There are 3 covers. Here also I have put certain covers. These are all first time flown to different cities in India. Kolhapur. This is again first cover from Kolhapur to this. So in this, this finishes my exhibit. This is the 1940 covers. Which one? I have thought about extending this to 47, but then 5 frames would not have been sufficient. So I stopped it at 1940. And even here, it's only a representative presentation, in the sense that lot more covers are required, lot more space is required to exhibit the complete history. But that space was limited to 5 frames, so I had to do that. In fact, the Tata Madras flight which was there, I have about 20 odd covers of this different destinations, different stages, but space limitations has put me only 5 or 6 covers. Thank you very much. Thank you for hearing and having a nice patient hearing. Thank you. I have tried to give a glimpse of what I have been exhibiting, and thank you very much. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Kuruvilla, sir.